Medium. We're live right here, live streaming as I'm sitting here. Potatoes, episode 16. Okay, Potato, the Nightshade healer is out. So, Medical Medium podcast at Apple Podcast. If you want to hear the episode, you're going to want to hear this episode because if you have doubts about the potato, I'm going to talk all about it in that episode. It's in there. I have talked all about it in that episode. It's really powerful. Lots of information there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the potato in this here live. So we're live streaming right here. These are russets I got in my hand, so I'm excited about them. These are really good potatoes right here. So I know a lot of people, they love potatoes. A lot of people love to hate potatoes. A lot of people don't care about them. A lot of people, it's just everybody's got their own thing about it. I totally get it. But I'm going to talk about why this is a healing food and why this actually turns lives around all the way from food poisoning to, when you're trying to recover from a really bad case of food poisoning and your gut's not right. Or if someone thinks, hey, they got a parasite or something like that and they're dealing with some kind of parasitical infection because they're sick in their guts for a long time and having problems, and why potato is incredible for any kind of digestive system issue and the whole bit. So I'm going to talk about that. This is really exciting. Yeah, I mean, they heal the nervous system. I just saw that right now. I think Jennifer was saying something about the nervous system as the comments were going up. But they're powerful tools right here, these potatoes. So I'm going to talk about that. So episode 16, you don't want to miss it. Episode 16, make sure you catch it if you can. There's Ichoda. Oh, wow, this episode blew me away. The poem at the end. Alexandra's here. You love the title of this podcast, The Nightshade Healer. Awesome, incredible. And, I know that a lot of people are afraid of them because they have misinformation about potatoes and what they can do and the power they have as a healer and how we can't underestimate them and how we take them for granted. It's unbelievable. So, look, I'll tell you right now, when it comes down to potatoes, it's vast as far as what they can do for our body. And there's a lot of confusion about potato, like what to eat them with, and that's a big problem all on its own because you might be somebody that puts oil on them, you might be somebody that puts sour cream, cheese on them, butter in them, and that's where the problem lies. It's right there. It's one of the problems because that's a big deal. I'm going to talk about also the sabotage on the potato. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that too. About how the nightshade fear kicked into gear, and when it did, it really basically stopped people from healing, stopped a lot of people from being able to heal because then they get afraid and then all of a sudden, whoa, it's this nightshade right here. This is what's wrong. This is what's bothering me, so we got so much to cover. Catherine says, and the kids love potatoes. Yeah, of course, incredible. So glad. That's amazing. Look, the bottom line is this episode is so packed. There's Michelle. Michelle's there. Michelle said the end is amazing. Michelle, did you hear that hidden message in the ending? And so I'm not sure if you're picking anything off in there in the ending of the potato show, but there's some powerful messages in there in that ending. Somewhere like three quarters in on that ending, somewhere around there, there's real powerful messages. Kaylee, I have Hashimoto's and I heard nightshades are bad for autoimmune diseases. Is this true? It's not true. Now, Kaylee, here's how it works, okay? Well, no one knows how autoimmune disease even starts or even occurs or what causes it. And all they think is your body's attacking itself, which is actually a theory. So here we go. We have this autoimmune theory. Autoimmune, as far as symptoms, are real, and Hashimoto's is real. I have books written about that, and there's a book behind me, Cleanse to Heal, with packed information about Hashimoto's, hyperthyroidism, and everything. So, but what you need to understand is that when it comes down to people saying, well, a nightshade's bad or a potato's bad if you have Hashimoto's. Well, that's interesting because they don't know the cause of Hashimoto's. So, okay, so how do they know what's bad for Hashimoto's? How do they know if you don't know what causes the thyroid problem or hypothyroid or hyperthyroidism or nodules or cysts, and you don't know the cause of those, then why is everybody such an expert as saying, oh, stay away from potatoes if you got Hashimoto's? Well, the funny thing is that the medical medium information allows for potatoes with Hashimoto's. And guess what? More people healed their Hashimoto's thyroiditis with medical medium information all around the world, proven results than anybody else. So it's like, okay, all right, well, hey, potatoes are bad for your thyroid. Potatoes are bad for Hashimoto's. Okay, that's interesting because thousands and thousands and thousands of people have healed. Oh my God, thyroid healing book. I wish I had it in front of me right now. Millions of people have gotten that book all around the world and healed and reversed their thyroid conditions with thyroid healing, that book. And potatoes are a healing food that's incorporated into the recipes, that's incorporated as far as a healing food. So I just want to make sure you know that so you're not cheated out of healing. Try to listen to the podcast if you can. It's episode 16. It's called The Nightshade Healer. It's called Potatoes. So it's Potato, The Nightshade Healer. That's the episode. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. That's where you have to hear the episode. Sherry said, diabetics can't eat much, though, because of the starch. So what do you have to say about this issue? Really good question. And I talk about the diabetic issue in this episode. So when you hear this episode, link is in the description. You really got to hear the episode. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. And I talk about how it's not the potato that's the troublemaker for diabetics. It's not the potato. It's what you put on the potato. So what happens with potatoes, you can reverse type 2 diabetes using potatoes. So you could be eating potatoes every day. I have a sack of potatoes right here with me. It's them right there. So you can be eating potatoes every single day, and a lot of them, and reverse type 2 diabetes and put it behind you if you know some of the tools too. Like, for instance, it's what you have with your potato, and that's the key. So listen to the episode so you can know. And that's misinformation. So here you are, you know, if you're dealing with diabetes and you want to heal, but yet someone's keeping you from a healing food, how are we going to heal? And that's the whole point. So I talk about guessing games, you know, that whole thing, right? Krisha says, I love potatoes, but I'm obese and told to stay away from carbs. Anthony, please do a podcast on losing weight and what to eat. I pray that Spirit of Compassion will let you see this comment and help all the suffering people like me. I have medical issues and I'm trying, but I can't gain weight. I'm so confused. So, definitely, I want to be able to help. So I am going to do a weight episode, okay? So I will do one, and I'll try to do one sooner. And I'm so sorry you're struggling, and I'm going to try to do one sooner for sure, and pack it with information like I'm doing, lots of it. And I talk about weight loss in the podcast too in different episodes. And potatoes, you could still do potatoes and lose weight. It's just so much information to learn about how and which way and all of that. So, but I want you guys to have every opportunity to heal. So I will focus on that. I'll focus on starting to work on an episode that's around weight and around losing weight and all of that. So it's really important. Emma says, thank you for confirming potatoes are good for us. I grew up on potatoes and I'm so relieved you can enjoy this. Okay, so here's the thing. Potatoes are really good for us. I'm just going to mention a couple of tidbits right here. There's zinc in the skin. So zinc is critical for our immune system. It's critical for our survival here. And zinc, there's trace mineral zinc inside the skins of potatoes. So if you're going to eat potatoes, and there's all kinds of nutrients and trace minerals inside the potato too. So lots of nutrients and trace minerals inside the potato. But in the skin itself, it's got a high amount of zinc, and that's a critical mineral that we need too. And I'll talk about some other stuff as well. I know a lot of you guys are afraid of nightshades. You're told to stay away from a nightshade. You're told to stay away from potatoes and that's where we get in trouble. That's where we lose an opportunity to heal. That's when we can't fix things. I talk about it in the episode. So just so you know, if you just got here, I'm live right now, live streaming. So I want you to know if you just got on here. And I'm talking about episode 16 of the Medical Medium Podcast. So the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Really, you guys should catch the episode. It's a mind blower. It really is. And It's packed with information about the potato, and it's something you don't want to miss because if you have anything with your digestive system, bloating, cramping, SIBO, IBS, Crohn's, colitis, gastroparesis, whatever you're doing with intestinal tract disorders, acid reflux, ulcers, all of this stuff, it's important to know that potato can be brought in and how helpful it really is. It's a free resource. I don't know what else to say. I just try to do free. And you're going to notice something. There's no ads. There's no commercials. There's no infomercials. It's just free listening, and you're not being bombarded by silly ads and stupid ads and stuff like that, okay? Lorraine L's here. Awesome. Glad to see you. She's a meditation expert. I mean, she's tried everything, done everything all through the years. Incredible. Sharon, the potato skins make my mouth burn like I ate pepper or spice. If I don't eat the skins, do I not get zinc? You still get zinc from it, Sharon. You still do, but you get the normal amount of zinc, and maybe that other fruits and vegetables and different things have. So, and herbs and wild food. So you get the normal amount, but there's a little bit more in the skin. It's okay. You don't need to eat the skin. You can peel the potatoes without a doubt. You can easily do that. And what you'll notice that if you try different potatoes, maybe you might not get that sensation with another one. It's because the skins are grippy. And when the skins are grippy, because that's what they are, they're grippy skins, sometimes what they do is if you're sensitive, what happens is the grippy skin, it's kind of one of those things where it rubs a little bit. And that's how it gets rid of the bad bacteria too. So when you're eating these potatoes, bad bacteria that's in our gut, that causes SIBO, that causes all kinds of gastritis, cramping and bloating. The potato grabs onto it and starts to pull it all out of the intestinal tract. It's a really powerful healing and cleansing food for the digestive tract. And the inside of the potato, there's these little stringy things inside the potato. You can't really see them, but stringy fibers. And when they go into you, they bind on to bacteria and roll it up and pull it out of the body. So if you hear out there, I don't eat potatoes and, they're not good, that's ridiculous. They're one of the most important foods. I mean, if you want to eat them, you don't have to. Christine said potatoes are high in potassium. I'm at a dangerous level of potassium. If you have a potassium level where you're at some kind of dangerous level of potassium, your doctor feels like you're at a dangerous level of potassium, then you got to watch everything you eat. So just every single food you eat, you have to look out because potatoes not the highest in potassium. And there's lots of foods that are higher in potassium, so you have to look out. So Christine, definitely keep an eye on out. Don't do a potato if your doctor doesn't want you because of potassium, but look out for, of course, your potassium levels on all foods. It's something that's really smart to do. I'm glad you're on that. But potatoes, very important food, you guys, really is. So for the nervous system, so I want to go into that a little bit. Margie says, I can't afford potatoes. You can afford potatoes. Sorry, I didn't see that. You can. Hey, we're live. What am I going to say? What can I say? We're live streaming, right? Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, they're affordable. And they're healing. And they're a powerful healing food. Incredible. Really is. What's the name of the book? Well, Cleanse to Heal is right behind me. I'm going to try to get reach over and grab a copy in a second, too. And Cleanse to Heal is an incredible resource for healing. There's 75 recipes in there. I'll show you in a minute. But the episode I'm talking about is Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Check that out. It's the potato episode, you guys. And I'm going to talk a little bit more. We got more to cover. Haven't even scratched the surface right here of these babies. But the episode is Potato, the Nightshade Healer. Why would I call it the Nightshade Healer? Why would I call it that, So, but I have the book right here. That's Cleanse to Heal. This is a medical textbook. Amazon.com US has a sale on this book right here. 51% off, $16.99. If you don't have it, you're missing out. It's already healing thousands. Actually, right now, it's healing millions of people around the world globally, this book. And so it's the most powerful resource and comprehensive resource there is in basically in medicine. That's what doctors tell me all the time. So Lots of doctors are using them in their practices now because they've used medical medium books in their practices for years going now. So this is the book. There's over 200 symptoms and conditions. I talk about things like supplements in it, like that's the B12 that I take. That's the Vimergy B12. I'm not sponsored, by the way, all right? Just like my episodes on Medical Medium Podcast don't have any advertisements on there. I don't work like that. So anyway, but that's the B12 I take. It's an important key factor into healing. The Vimergy company, V as in Victor, Imergy, so check that out. But yeah, that's the Cleanse to Heal book. Different cleanses in there, over 200 symptoms and conditions, 75 recipes. So that's there right there. Uranus says, I eat my potatoes with ACV to slow down the release of insulin. So, the thing is, well, that's a theory. It slows down the release of insulin. That's a good theory. There's lots of theories out there as far as what happens and what doesn't. But the key is with potatoes is any kind of insulin problems that can happen with any kind of food is you have to make sure you're not dousing it with oil. You're not dumping lots of oil on your potatoes or any food really. And you got to make sure you're not having potatoes with another fat, like too much fat. You don't want potatoes with turkey fat. You don't want potatoes with beef fat. You don't want potatoes with chicken fat. So that's where the insulin stuff happens. And that's one of the keys you need to know. But that's like that with everything. You don't want to have bread with chicken. So if you have a chicken sandwich, you're having your chicken fat with your carbohydrate, your bread. Even if it's a gluten-free bread, even if it's a whole grain bread, even if it's a wholesome grain and gluten-free grain, if you have it with your chicken grease or you have it with your turkey grease or turkey fat, if you have it with, if you have a steak sandwich or something, you're having fat with a carb. That's how the insulin goes off the charts. That's how the A1C goes up. See, so that's how it works with the whole insulin, diabetes, but we don't have, it's like that information is just, for some reason, it's not out there. So people just struggle and they keep their insulins all over the place. Their numbers are all over the place. They're up and down, their A1C, they got insulin resistance. No one's teaching them how it works. No one's saying, don't have a carb of any kind with a fat. No one's saying, don't have sweet potatoes with turkey at the same time. No one's saying don't have sweet potatoes with, and I'm just talking about anything like sweet potatoes is right there. I mean, so many people eat them, but they eat them with all that oil and all that grease or whatever they're eating them with. So let's go into this part. By the way, I'm live right now. I'm talking about potatoes. I got a sack of potatoes right here. I'm talking about healing benefits. I'm talking about how you shouldn't run from potatoes because of hearing it's a nightshade. Misinformation as far as how that works out there, okay? It can stop you from healing. I talked a little bit about food poisoning. I think I still will, where potatoes are a saving grace for post-food poisoning for recovery. I don't know if you've ever had food poisoning, but let me tell you, there's people out there, their stomach doesn't work right for years after a bad case of food poisoning. Their stomach doesn't work right for months afterwards, weeks after, and this is one of the foods to help bring them back. I've done it thousands of times with people. So important to know. And so anyway, and I'm also going to talk about how potatoes aren't a white processed food. That's important too. By the way, so you got to hear the episode. I just don't want to forget about that because I can only give you so much information here. So listen to the uncensored episode. I'm censored here, you guys, so keep that in mind. I got to watch the keywords, information and stuff that I get that I hand out. It's really tough. So, but what you do is you go Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. The potato episode, okay? The Nightshade Healer link is in the description. Share the episode so people can learn and heal. So share the episode, please, so people can heal. And if you feel up to it and you like the show, please then leave a review at Apple Podcasts for the Medical Medium Podcast. It would be really helpful for a lot of reasons, so other people can find their way if you enjoyed the episode. So key factor right here, antiviral. This is an antiviral food. Why should you care? Anything autoimmune is viral. So, hey, I just got diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. I got diagnosed with lupus, got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. RA, rheumatoid arthritis. I got diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, neurological Lyme, and I got autoimmune now. Well, that's viral. That's what that is. I talk about that in the books, and that's viral. So these are antiviral food. This is an antiviral food right here. So what does that mean? When you're eating this, you're actually working on healing and getting better, Michelle's right. Don't eat potatoes with green skin or sprouts. I talk about that in the episode. So here's the thing. You're eating potatoes to go after bugs that are in our system. You got to remember that. So if you're diagnosed with autoimmune, what's happening is you got this underlying viral condition. Okay, it's the Epstein-Barr's, it's the shingles varieties, it's cytomegalovirus. People walk around with this all day long. They're filled with these bugs, but the bugs eventually get a little out of control, and then you get swollen joints, you get dizziness, aches and pains, ringing in the ears, you get Hashimoto's thyroiditis. That's caused by Epstein-Barr virus. And so when you go through all that and you're having all these symptoms and conditions, and you get the autoimmune diagnosis, then you're dealing with low-grade viral infections, or sometimes more than low-grade. Well, this is an antiviral food. I talk about this in the episode. So Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Guys, why do I want you to listen to the podcast? I have no advertisers, so I'm not making money. I have no infomercials. I'm not making money. So why do I want you to listen to the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts so badly? Because what happens is if you have all these advertisers on there and sponsors and advertisers, then you end up making all this money, right? And that would be a reason to push you all there, okay? Well, I'm not doing that. So why do I want you to actually listen to the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast? Because I want you to heal. Because it's a free resource with no advertisements. Because it's packed with information, and because I created it in a way that's a docu-series style podcast. It's not coffee talk and it's not throwaway. So it's not like cattle call. Just another guest on, coffee talk, another guest on, disappears forever, coffee talk, who cares? These are docu-series filled with information so you can heal. It's about you getting better. So you guys, if your anxiety's up and you're dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotional struggles right now, check out the 4 meditations I think I have. 4 meditations on Medical Medium Podcast and Apple Podcasts. The brain meditation, the fruit picking meditation, that one right there, the moon meditation. You guys, are you keeping track of the half moon? Because the moon meditation's critical on the half moon. So I want to tell Lorraine that. Lorraine says your meditations are the best, so healing. Lorraine, do you know about doing them on the half moon? I bet you do. And that's a key time to do it. That's when I do it. I do it on the full moon for about 7 days during a full moon cycle. And then I do 7 days during the half moon cycle. Because what happens, it's all about the magnetic pull. Something changes. The axis of the earth, where the moon is at that time. And where we are in our space and time now. Like in history, each day as each day unfolds. So I like to use that healing of the moon's power. Thank you for doing the meditations. And Lorraine, thanks for telling other people about them too. Because I read all the comments on YouTube and you're helping other people. It's incredible. Same thing with Michelle. I see you helping people. It blows my mind. And same with Loon too. I mean, it just blows my mind because you guys get so much compassion. It's crazy. And everybody, you guys, but I want you to know, and Ichoda too. I see Ichoda on there, and she's just helping people out. And I guess that's what it's about, right? It's about, like, if you're struggling and you don't have answers, or your symptoms are bringing you down and you got anxiety and depression, and I don't want anybody living like that. I want them to have a way out. But potatoes are a great option right there. That's the Medical Medium Podcast. That's it, and that's the fruit picking one. So it's PTSD, it helps heal anxiety, it's the fruit picking one, trying to make this go right. And Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast, link is in the description right there. So right now, people's anxiety is just through the roof, their depression is through the roof, But I'm excited about these. I'm going to eat these tonight. I'm going to cook a whole big batch of them is what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do with my potatoes tonight, and I wish I already had some cooked ones and I could actually show you, and I'll do that on another live stream too, is I'm going to chop them up after they're done. Okay, I steam them, and I talk about that in the episode. You have to steam them. That's your best bet for making sure get everything, healing. But what you do is, what I do is I make a big salad. I chop them up. I throw them on top of the salad. I squeeze lemon all over it. That's what I love to do. I put some onion on there. That's me. Hey, that's me. I try to put some green onion on there. I put regular onions on there. But that's just what I like to do. So the point is, I want you guys to hear the episode so you can learn about how to use these babies, how to heal, how to get your life back. Each tool counts. Every little tool counts. Medical medium tool. And I say medical medium tool because people don't know. They never knew. Keep these plain, keep them steamed, and you can make them with other food. You can put other food in there, but try to keep the fats down so you're not dumping too much fat on top of your potato, sour cream, cheese, and what else? You got to look out in butter. You got to look out for that. So I want to talk about that with potatoes is they're antiviral. So what they do is they have virus killing properties. That means if you're already struggling with something where you're sensitive and you get achy or your joints bother you or anything like that happens, a couple of things could go wrong. One is if you're eating potatoes and you're eating them with eggs, if you're eating eggs in your diet, if you're eating potatoes and eating butter with them, if you're eating potatoes and having sour cream or milk or some kind of cream or butter with them, like I said, or cheese or anything like that, if you're eating them with things like that, you're just going to have more problems because dairy products feed the viruses. So that's what happens right there. It feeds the viruses. And that's one reason why you're going to get flare-ups every now and then, because you might be somebody that has okay, I'll try a baked potato. You go bake the potato, you throw butter in there, and now you get all of a sudden a flare-up. Well, you just got a flare-up because the butter is feeding the bugs, and that's what happens there. It's one reason. Another reason why that people feel like they may not feel good after a potato, some people, is because they're killing viruses. So here you are, somebody who's dealing with viruses inside your liver, inside your body, inside your intestinal tract, and including also bacteria that shouldn't be there, like streptococcus. And you're eating potatoes and you're killing these bugs. When you kill bugs and you get them out of the body, sometimes you don't feel so great for a little bit. Rebecca Knight, I've been told potatoes aren't good for autoimmune diseases. There is so many different opinions. It's so hard to know which way to turn. Well, here's one thing, Rebecca, that's so important to know, okay? They don't know what causes autoimmune. So why are they the expert at what to eat? I'm kind of confused about that. That's a head scratcher for me. They don't know why anybody has autoimmune. They don't have answers for autoimmune. Everybody stays sick with their autoimmune their whole life. Nothing changes. They keep their lupus their whole life. They keep their fibromyalgia their whole life. The only thing they offer is drugs, and alternative medicine doesn't know the cause of fibromyalgia or lupus or Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So interesting. How is everybody an expert at what to eat and what to avoid when they don't know why anybody's sick? Once you realize that, you know where you can go a little bit. Because if you go in here, and this right now, thousands of doctors are using this book right now around the world, or the medical medium books, you learn what the cause of your problem is. I have it right in the book. When you learn the cause and you learn what's in a food, then it rises above all that. It takes it way past all that. Now you know why you're sick, why I have autoimmune. Then you know what kills it off and kills off the bugs that cause autoimmune, and you know how to heal. And that's why people heal with medical medium information. Here's another thing to keep in mind, Rebecca, that's really important is medical medium information has already been proven. Millions around the world already doing healing. Thousands and thousands of eczema cases reversed, completely reversed. Psoriasis cases, when that never happened in our history. People just didn't get rid of their eczema. That never happened. Unless they just took drugs to suppress it short time for a short moment. People just didn't just get rid of their eczema and psoriasis. That started with medical medium information that never existed before that. Debilitating cases of eczema just didn't go away just because you get rid of processed foods or try a fancy diet. And it's already been proven, already happened. So you have to think about that. So when you think about who do I trust? Where do I go? There's so much information out there about autoimmune and not eating potatoes. Interesting, because they don't know what's causing your autoimmune. So why are they experts? How many people did they get better with autoimmune? Do you still have your autoimmune? And have you applied the information? Take the book to your doctor. Go to the library. Get it for free. Get it for free at the library if you want. And you can look up autoimmune here in Cleanse to Heal. So Monica Ellis says, hi there. Does the book cover lupus? That what you do is you go into the autoimmune section and you'll be able to address it there. It's an important place to address it. You guys, look, it's really sad really about what happens out there in the misinformation. It's sad about the misinformation about potatoes. That's sad all on its own. And I mean, the misinformation there when it's a healing food, when eating properly, what you can actually do for yourself. Listen to the episode. And another thing is, if you haven't heard the episodes, you really should. There's the apple cider vinegar episode, the brain fog episode, the B12 episode. I'm not sponsored by this company. Very important to know. And so you guys, I just want you to be able to heal. Catherine says, can't wait to listen to the podcast. Catherine, you got to hear the potato one. You have to hear this potato one. So important. So Tori says, steamed potatoes keeps more nutrients intact than baking the potatoes. Yes, steaming them is the key. Boiling them, you lose a lot of the nutrients for sure, boiling them. But if you have to boil them and make a soup, you boil them and make a soup. You can do that, but really steaming them is so good and easy on the system. It's a gentle food to heal your central nervous system. That's what it can do. Help heal the central nervous system, helps with the digestive system. So, I mean, it's really a great thing when you know what you can do here. Catherine Elizabeth says, food poisoning is awful. Look, almost everybody I know, out there in the world, they get food poisoning. It is terribly awful. It's unbelievable. Jerry West says, hi, Anthony from New Zealand. Yeah, cool. Love your podcast. So helpful. Thank you. Amazing. So that's so great that you're listening. Kathy Lawson says, hey, I love potatoes. So, okay, there's an olive oil question. So no olive oil. Okay, good question. So Angela, so no olive oil on potatoes. Here's the thing. Of course you can put a little olive oil on potatoes. Of course you can, okay? And you can. And that's fine. You could also have avocado with potatoes. You can have a little bit of coconut oil with potatoes. Tahini with potatoes. If you're going to have a fat with potatoes, and I talk about it in the potato show, please listen to the episode. I think you probably might have. That's why you heard about that. Keep in mind that if you're going to do some plant fats with potato, tahini, sesame tahini, and avocado are two great plant fats that you can actually use with potato. So if you have a little tahini on top of your potato, it's one option. The other one is avocado on potato. That's kind of like avocado toast, but you put on avocado potato. It's avocado potato. But keep in mind that even then, it's still best without having a fat with the potato, but those are the best options. And you can, of course you can. It's still great, and the potato is still healing. The potato is still going to help heal the body. Absolutely. Darcy Lee, good to see you. I did the Freeze a Bird podcast this morning. So good. The Freeze a Bird podcast episode, the meditation, just blows my mind. I did it a couple days ago. Blows my mind. I do the moon meditation, the brain meditation, the Freeze a Bird meditation, the fruit picking meditation. You guys got to try them, okay? You got to try them. It's a free resource. Could I have charged for those meditations? Yes, I could have charged for them. I could have packaged them up and sold them for a couple $1,000s. You buy into it. You could get 4 of my meditations and guided meditations. I could have easily done that. I could package up programs with this New York Times best-selling book. I could package up programs with all the medical medium books, sell them for thousands of dollars a piece, so no one gets the information unless they pay $2,000 a program. That's what everybody else would do in the industry, building a platform, selling their products. I don't do that. I'm just letting you guys know I don't do that. You can get it on sale at Amazon. You can also get it free at the library. Okay, and that book is saving lives right now. And the Medical Meeting Podcast is free resource, and it's a docu-series on podcast. Link is in the description. I just want you guys to know that because it's important. It just is. And so, anyway, did you hear the B12 episode? That's important there too. And I want you guys to just have options to heal. Anelia says, I just had dinner from potatoes and shiitake with some salad. I have followed your advice for 1 year and my health becomes better and better. Thank you so much. Incredible. That's so important to know because I know you're doing the right things. You're taking care of yourself. Catherine Elizabeth says, we need your meditations. Especially the past few days. Are you guys doing them? So what meditation would I do? And with everything that's going on now, I did Free as a Bird a couple days ago. So here's the fruit picking meditation. That's one I like right there. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get it situated. Link is in the description. Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. It's a fruit picking meditation right there. It's a free resource. Guided meditation. Like I said, I could package them up and sell them. That's what I've been told to do. It's like, no, not doing that. Not doing that. I want a free resource so you guys can heal. And that's what's going on. So Judy says, you and the information you share are life saviors. I've been doing celery juice and heavy metal detox daily for a year. Healed Hashimoto's. Wait a minute. There's somebody that was on here that has Hashimoto's. I hope she stayed on here and she sees the comment that you healed your Hashimoto's with the information. So important. And that's an autoimmune condition. So you got to think about that. So anyway, and potatoes are a food to help heal autoimmune. How can you go wrong? This is interesting. Maynard Spaceship. Hey, good to see you. Glad you're here today. I lost a ton of weight eating potatoes. Yes, I talk about it's a weight loss food. Yeah, it is. It's a weight loss food. Okay, it's a weight loss food. So important to know. It really is. Charlene says, I have sweet potatoes, avocado oil, and herbs. That's delicious. That's actually a delicious combination. Try having regular potatoes. They offer more. Sweet potatoes offer certain things. Regular potatoes offer all kinds of other things. Really important to know. Fern says, what are your thoughts on plant-based butter? I don't like it. I would use avocado for butter any day. For 35 years, that's what I've been teaching about. Taught it in lectures 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. I taught it in lectures. I taught doctors about it. I've helped thousands upon thousands of people one-on-one throughout the years. And I always said use avocado as your butter for your potato or anything like that. That would be your plant-based butter is avocado. Keep that in mind. Anyway, you guys, so cool. So link is in the description. The potato episode is out. Check it out. The Nightshade Healer. I didn't even scratch the surface to the amount of information in the episode. And Susan said your potato salad recipes are my all-time favorite. You guys, go to medicalmedium.com. And I got potato recipes on medicalmedium.com. Lots of potato recipes. My God. So check that out, really, Anyway, bless your heart. Proud of all of you guys, truly. Don't fry your potatoes. Don't fry your potatoes. Nadia says, where can I listen to the brain fog message? The brain fog message? Brain fog episode. Please listen to it. Link is in the description, Nadia. Link is in the description. Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Don't miss out. Subscribe, okay? Anyway, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.